Flipping a forex trading account. I've created this video in a sense for every trader to look at the different approaches, principles, techniques, different skills a particular person can use if they want to flip their forex trading account. I believe there will always be two things that will come into your mind whenever you happen to hear the word flipping a forex trading account. Of course, the two things are the aggressiveness and the rapidness. So generally, we're looking at the different ways a particular person can rapidly, aggressively grow their forex trading account than in a normal way. So I've created this video in a sense that it is both for the newbies, the novice, and also the institution trader. If you haven't, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to it, share, comment, and also visit other social media platforms of ours: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Just type in FXKampala, you will find us. You'll find such amazing information to do with forex trading. So in a sense, where we are actually looking at the different approaches of how a particular individual trader like you can actually grow their account or flip their account, one should not forget using higher leverage. I've created initially a video talking about leverage. Leverage is literally when you try to leverage on something small, for something big. So you actually use a bigger leverage. We have different brokers that actually go even up to 1 to 2,000. Leverage is literally a ratio that an individual trader has to choose, if they probably have a small amount of money to position themselves for bigger position. So if you ever thought of flipping an account, then this should cross your mind in any ways. So using bigger leverage is key, is mandatory here. Why? Because we are now looking for all approaches where we can grow our accounts rapidly and aggressiveness. So if you're the person that loves flipping, growing their account rapidly, then they should always opt for bigger leverage. Another thing that we should actually always resort to if you're looking at the different techniques, approaches for us to to flip our accounts, then we should always focus on news trading. What is news trading? We always say that forex movement or volatilities or fluctuations are caused by different factors that can be social, political, economic, and also factors of supply and demand. Now, when it comes to news now, this time around, we're looking at we are measuring at economic factors which impact the market in a very rapid way, meaning that with their effect, it's why we happen to find ourselves having the sharp movements, rapid movement in the market. If you're the kind of person that would love, to trade forex in the sense of flipping their accounts, then this is the next concentration or focus that we should always never miss out on our to-do list. So make sure that you focus on fundamentals or on news trading if you actually would love to flip your forex trading account. The other thing is actually compounding wins. Usually this is a technique that we use. If I probably enter the market and make a profit, then I always increase the lot size. So if every time I make a profit, for the next trade, I have to compound. In other words, I have to increase my lot size, okay, in the sense of the new, capital, because now my capital has increased. So every time my capital increases, then I always have to increase my lot size. Why? Because we are in a situation where we now want to flip our forex trading accounts to make money in a sense of a short-term period, but also not losing our money. So this is another technique that we should always focus on too. Then we should also focus on using higher risk to reward ratio. When we talk of a higher risk to reward ratio, every trader knows this or knows that before they probably can look forward, starting trading, they should always specify how much money they are probably staking or they are risking for their return. Now, usually We risk something small for something big. Now, traders like Richard Dennis, you realize that they will always go for relatively bigger risk to reward ratio. What do I mean? That I should always risk, the way you hear it, for those of you that don't know, risk to reward. So what are you risking and what should be your reward? In trading, risk should always be small and the reward should always be higher. Why? Because all we need here is for us to have a positive edge over the market. Now, if I'm trading, it is my it's my responsibility, it is my obligation, a person who is trading, to always use a bigger risk to reward ratio. If I have in the first place, would probably rather want to grow my forex trading account rapidly or flip it, then I always have to go for bigger risk to reward ratios. Like for instance, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. In the sense that if I risk $10, I should aim for 100. That is a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 10. So using a risk to reward ratio is probably another important approach, skill that we can use if we ever wanted to grow our forex trading account. So we can also use the category and the grid strategy. What is this? Now, this is a bit tricky. Now, it's only for the smart people that can understand this. Category states that if the market ever happens, let's say I bought here, and instead of the market going in my direction, it goes against me, category says that you don't only leave that trade. You can, when you buy and the market goes against you, make sure you also put another buy. As it keeps going against you, always make sure that you actually put, a new order such that by the time it will start coming back, you're actually making profits onto that. Now, you have to do this in a keen way, but also in a smart way. Why? Because yes, it is good, it's easier, it makes a lot of money, but then it also comes with consequences. So that's why I hereby say that if you're using category strategy or grid strategy, then always make sure that you are smart, you are very sensitive, and you're very keen about this particular strategy. Now, when we want to flip our forex trading account, then it is another approach as a strategy that we can always deploy this time round. Why? Because our main interest now is to flip our forex trading account. This is helping us in a way that when all these trades come back and they are all in our favor, we are making profits. So that's why it's another technique that we should always deploy and also leverage onto it when we are trading. Then the eighth point as to why rather strategy or a solution or technique or skill that we can use if we ever wanted to flip our account is always to copy pro traders or signal traders aggressively. Make sure you copy them, but then follow experienced trader but use higher lots multipliers than the normal. So when you come in and your sole purpose is actually to flip your forex trading account, make sure that you use signals of highly experienced traders. But then every time you're following them, always make sure that you use more bigger multiple lot sizes when you are trading, because now these are people that are experienced, that are doing enough research in the market, and therefore always the risk is rarely, it's definitely minimal as compared to the rest. Now, if you happen to follow all these things the way I've just mentioned them, they may seem easier, but then risk management becomes key. And also you should bear in mind that using bigger lot sizes comes with the consequences. Therefore, we should always be keen and smart, be sensitive, be wise when we are deploying every technique, every strategy we have deployed. My last words to say are here. High rewards, don't try to flip with money you can't afford to lose. Many traders keep a small flipping account separate from their main capital, so if it blows, no harm is done. Now, I already said this to you, and I'm stressing this such that you probably can understand this in a rather better. So when you are probably doing this and you want to flip your account, make sure you don't do it on your account probably that has a lot of money. You can always do all this, deploy all this on a small capital that will not affect you. In other words, that capital that you can afford to lose. In any case, things go the other way around. You know, you can still, there is no any harm that is caused, and you're still in the right position, and you can still make more money in that sense. So with that, I believe I've been very clear, and everything that we have probably, learned today has made a lot of sense. Let me stop from here. Have a lovely day. Enjoy.